What's up, everybody? This is Scarcasm Live, and we are live. To the right of me, we have Samuel.
How's it going, everybody?
And to the left of me, well, we have me. And I'm the little line in between me and Samuel. But yeah, Scar's not here. We tried to call him and text him and stuff, so I hope everything is going all right with him. But we can't get up with him, so we're just gonna go ahead with the show.
Shoot the breeze and whatever.
Shit in the breeze.
Yeah, well, I said shoot the breeze. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I thought you said shit. We're gonna shit the breeze.
That doesn't make any sense. Okay.
Well, I don't know. I was just going along with what you were saying. That's what I heard.
Then you have a dirty mind or something. I don't know.
I don't know. You're also, you know, like a very soft-spoken individual.
No way.
No, you don't think that's true?
Nah.
No. All right. Well, what's going on with you, man?
I have nothing new to report other than getting ready for my New York trip. And just getting great deals on movies.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty much been it.
Great deals on movies is always a good thing.
Yeah. What was I going to ask you? Oh, yeah, I signed up for Spotify, and apparently Hulu comes with Spotify now.
Yeah, I heard that. Is that like, it's just bundled forever? Like that's just
until they decide to do away with it. But until that time, I'm gonna keep doing this. I mean, it is the ad version, which is kind of weird because I have ad block on my laptop. So when watching it, it'll just be like 90 seconds of nothing.
Yeah, I would like turn the ad block off so you're just like at least watching something.
Yeah, at least looking at something except for like my reflection. That's pretty scary.
Oh, you're watching this movie? Well, look at yourself for a little bit. This is what you look like when you watch this show.
Look at your sad, pathetic soul.
Well, but yeah, I was thinking about going back with Spotify for that reason, because I'm not really brand loyal on pretty much anything I do.
Me either.
I went from Spotify, and then after like 2 years of using that, I was like, well, let me try something different, because at the time their app was like being really slow, like all the time. It would just always like act like it needed to connect when I'm like totally connected to the internet or Wi-Fi or whatever. And I don't know if that might have just been my old phone, so I'm thinking about switching back to them now. But what I switched to was Google Music, and I got like 3 months for free from them, and I did enjoy them. The cool thing about them is that the music that you use, that you have like on your computer or whatever, like actual like MP3s and stuff, you can upload that.
You can integrate them.
Well, on Spotify it will integrate them, where it basically like save all your library would be like stuff you already own, but on Google it actually uploads the files. So if you're not paying for Google Play, you can still access the stuff that you uploaded.
Oh,
So you'll have things also that's not on the service. Like if you have like a local, like if your buddy's mixtape or whatever, and you upload that to Google Play, you can stream that from Google Play. So
yeah, that's a thing that happened with, that's the thing that Apple used to do until I think what happened was that some music producer or somebody that started happening automatically to his computer, and so all the stuff that was unreleased that he had produced got uploaded into the ether.
Huh.
And I think he sued Apple for it. I'm not sure what exactly happened there, but that was a thing for a while, and I don't think Apple does that anymore. It would actually just scan your computer and just like, I'm doing you a favor, I'm just uploading this for you. If you're like someone who does this professionally and has your unreleased stuff on your computer, it's not a good idea.
Right. Maybe it should be a toggle to where like, do you want this to happen? Because, I mean, that's convenient for, like, us. But if you have a professional account, like an artist account, you don't want, like your rough cuts. You never,
Right.
because that's the big thing. You never release your rough cuts. You always release, because you don't want people to hear the stuff that you wrote in your mom's basement. You want to hear the stuff that you wrote once you perfected your craft, And you never let someone listen to the rough cut of anything. Like, if you're like, oh, it's not done yet, don't let anybody listen to it until it's done, because that first listen will always be their first listen. But oh yeah, but after Google Play, I was like, well, my service was about to go up. Amazon Music had like 6 months for free or something crazy, and so I went with them, and their service is pretty cool too. It integrates with the Fire Stick pretty well, and I like their app. Their app is, I've really had any problems with it of being slow or anything. But if Spotify has Hulu, because Scar's always talking about, oh, you got Hulu, you can be watching this fire-ass TV show, and I don't.
No, yeah, I was doing that thing where you just bounce around from trial to trial. I know Tidal was offering like a 3-month trial for a while, and I jumped on that. And then after that was over, I got on Google Play, their trial. And then I never found one that I actually particularly like. I know I don't like Tidal. I don't like how they stream. I don't like their app. Their UI is not good. It's not very friendly. Not very user friendly.
Do you have an iPhone or Android?
I never had it on the iPhone, but I had it on the Android.
Okay.
And I just didn't like it.
Because I did notice that because you posted on Instagram the Dr. Dre Chronic, and that album is only available on Apple Music.
No, that's an actual vinyl that I bought.
Well, I know that, but I was just saying that.
Oh, okay. It's only available on Apple Music.
Yeah, if you want to stream it. So, because I got like a hankering to listen to some Dre, and I was listening to 2001 because Chronic wasn't available. But 2001, yeah, 2001 is really good. I think if you're going to encapsulate early 2000s hip hop into like one little thing, that's pretty much everything.
You know that album came out in '99, right? Not 2001.
Yeah, I know it did. I know that, but like 99 is like pretty much things that come out in 99 people were still listening to in the early 2000s. So a lot of the people that got big in the early 2000s are on that. I mean, I know Snoop Dogg was big in the 90s too, but like, because they had Snoop Dogg and Eminem and fucking...
Right, they had all these characters, yeah.
But
no, I mean, yeah, I was on Apple Music for a while, and that was cool, but I don't know, I never really found one that I completely liked. And then the thing about Google Play Music or whatever, like that one was okay, but then like their price went up to $11.99, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then so I was thinking, you know what? I like Spotify, but I also like Apple Music. And Apple Music is it's an app that I don't actually have to download. It's already on my phone.
Right.
But then they started offering Hulu, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to jump on that.
That's a smart move, man. Like because we always will. We haven't had Hulu in a while, but when we would go get it like when certain shows were on, and then once those shows went off, we would cancel it because it was.
That's what I do with HBO.
Yeah, actually, we did a trial at HBO as well, but through Amazon though, because the cool thing about Amazon, and I guess that they're trying to be the only one, to try to get everyone on their service. But it's convenient, you just go to Amazon Prime, and then you can add channels. Like if you don't, that's what I like about Amazon Prime a little bit over Netflix is the fact. If the license goes up for something to be on Prime, if I really want to watch it, I can just rent it. You know what I mean?
Just rent an episode or buy an episode or something.
Yeah, because on Netflix, if it's not on there,
You're just SOL.
Yeah, it'd be like, well, you wanted to watch The Goodfellas? Well, here's some things that are sort of like it.
it's like a BRC knockoff.
Yeah.
BRC level knockoff. Yeah. Oh, you like Transformers? But you love some Transmorphers.
Yeah.
But what was I going to say? I was going to ask you a question. Now, do you remember what the first show on Hulu was that you watched, like, ever? The first thing, like, when you first got the service, like, whenever you got it years ago or now or whenever, what was the very first thing you looked at?
I have no idea. It was probably like Heroes or something that was on at the time. Or because I remember we were watching that Once Upon a Time or something where it was fairy tales and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we watched Lost through that. I don't know. That was a long time ago.
Right. I'll tell you the first time I got it, I was like, oh, this is great. Let me check out what's on here. Oh, look, here's a show I haven't watched since, like, I don't know, 1990 or 1991, whatever it came out.
Mm-hmm.
Let me check this out. It was The Monsters Today. The remake that they came out with. The reboot of The Monsters they came out with, like, in, like, 90 or 91.
Huh.
It was just as bad as you think. It was as bad as you imagine. Whatever you're imagining, it was that bad, yes. Like,
nice.
They had none of the characters had aged. They're all the same age. It's just like now they're in color. And like they have crappy stories. I mean, of course, there's new actors and actresses, but it's just weird. Like, because you're so used to the original actors,
Mm-hmm.
that, like, these other people, you're like, these are just cheap knockoffs.
Right.
So yeah, that didn't go very long.
Yeah, it's weird when people were like, "Oh, I'm going to colorize this black and white thing," or "I'm going to, you can watch this movie from the 70s on Blu-ray or whatever." Sometimes it works out, but sometimes you're like, it was meant for the CRT TVs, or it was using black and white to its advantage. So when you watch it in color, everything will look even more fake. Or like, I've heard that the Blu-ray of The Predator, like, it makes things look more fake because, everything's clear, so you can see all the imperfections and stuff.
HD. Yeah. That someone actually uploaded to YouTube. I mean, it wasn't the whole thing, it was just bits and pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Black and white version of the original Halloween. That movie looks so fake now. Like when you put it in grayscale like that, you can tell it's a low budget thing that somebody did with their little camera.
Right.
Originally, you couldn't really tell, but for some reason, it pops out more at you when it's just black and white.
Wow. Yeah, because that was one of the ones I was talking about that actually worked out, because I have the 30th anniversary Blu-ray of that, and that looks really good, like the Blu-ray does, and but that was because Dean Conley, or I think that's his name, the cinematographer, he oversaw the upscale the Blu-ray to make sure all the shots and stuff are the same, but it looks, to me, when I was watching it, because sometimes you're like, it looks like a prettier grainy thing, but on that one it was like, this looks like brand new.
Yeah, like I've seen some movies that were like up-res to HD.
Yeah.
Some of those old 70s movies. And there's just like, I just see more grain. That's all I see.
Right.
There's no HD. I'm like, where's the HD? I was lied to.
Yeah, it's just like they just made the colors pop. But that, I don't know. Like, and plus sometimes, like, I think people kind of hit the nail on the head with like Red Dead Redemption 2 when they would talk about it. The reason that looks so photorealistic is because sometimes when you would put I got an HDTV, let me put Vivid on, and I want to see everything with the colors popping, and that's not reality. To make things look more real and believable, the colors have to be subdued and kind of mesh into each other, because if you take a picture outside in like HDR and make it look beautiful, look at that picture and then look at what you took of. It looks different. You know, everything doesn't look that HD color popping. So, you know.
So what have you been up to? I know you've done some stuff. Besides game.
Yeah, we actually did watch the Michael Jackson thing, and we didn't do the R. Kelly thing because neither one of us have really ever cared about R. Kelly. You know what I mean? And but the Michael Jackson thing, we were really curious about that because, for one, my son was really into Michael Jackson, and because me and Scar were talking back and forth about it a little bit, and he was like, well, it's not in his songs, you know, it's whatever. And, you know, his daughter likes Michael Jackson too, but how Aiden was kind of reminded me, like, when we would see the kid in the movie, like, Aiden did all that shit. You know, Aiden would want to dress up like Michael Jackson. He wanted Michael Jackson pillows, and, like, he was, like, obsessed with Michael Jackson. He would, like, all the time, like, dancing like Michael Jackson. So we did do a little purge of Michael Jackson things. You know, some people thought that, you know, that was a little, you know, much. You know, you guys, you know, probably listen to things that weren't good in the past. And I was like, well, for Aiden, since, you know, he has a problem with, like, idolizing things or, like, getting, you know, he has autism, and, like, it almost felt like Michael Jackson was grooming him from the grave because how, like, obsessed he was with Michael Jackson. So it felt really weird for him to be sleeping on a Michael Jackson pillow.
Yeah, that is a little. Yeah, I mean, I see what you mean, but it just, none of these things were ever proven. None of these. I mean, people are coming out with it now. It just, I don't know. It just, I really can't really say. You know, he's not here anymore to defend himself or say what actually happened.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but I mean, they touch on that in the movie or the documentary because on the reason why, because it's almost like because the kids that came out now are the kids that were defending him, you know, so that was the whole, which is kind of weird. Like, pretty much, there's another allegations. Why did he get off because of this one? Because other people that have nothing to do with it, like testimony. That's like me saying, oh, well, this dude robbed a store, and then I go and testify and be like, no, man, he's good. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. His bro says he's good. You know, it's like, that whole thing was kind of weird, but they were still kind of fucked up in that they kind of, like, almost kind of feel sort of in love with Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? Like that that last time he knew that he would go to jail and he had nightmares. Michael's not going to survive jail. I can't let this happen to him. You know, even, you know, because they were like, I don't know. And what's even weirder is that one kid grew up to be like the making the dances for NSYNC and stuff, and weren't NSYNC like their manager or something, like a pedophile or something too? It was like,
wow.
I think, I'm not completely sure, because I remember that dude died, and there was no like RIP or anything for that dude. It was just all like, fucking die in your grave, fucker. But
Okay, bye.
So yeah, like, it was so weird because Scar knows I listen to a lot of metal and stuff, and around, this was 2017 maybe, or maybe it was last year. Last year, like, there's things that happened in the beginning of the year, I think it's like ages ago, because last year, like, a lot of shit, like, a lot of changes happened. But
if you were with me, it's backwards. It's more like, yeah, you know, a few years ago this happened. You're like, you mean 2008, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Some things that are further away, it doesn't seem that long that BioShock came out, and you're like, yeah, it was 11 years ago. Shit. But But anyway, he what was I saying?
We're
Oh,
talking about
some stuff with people were like talking about R. Kelly and stuff. And R. Kelly's like this sings pretty songs about fucking, and and around that same time, a band that I was listening to called Vow, and they're like kind of I guess avant-garde metal band that kind of fuses a little bit of just like orchestrated like music into like making these epic freaking pretty but heavy songs and stuff. Well, anyway, they're from New Orleans, so they're like super like swamp people too. But apparently like they like totally stopped the rape. Like they stopped at a gas station and this dude was about to like freaking rape this woman, and they like about to kick his ass and like ran him off and then called the cops and stuff. And at that same time, people were talking about R. Kelly. I was like, y'all need to listen more metal, because like I'll be listening to that in the car and be like, oh man, this is Satan music, and then and they're the ones that's like, I'm sure there's like, I mean there's terrible shit in metal too, but it was just kind of weird how it was, the R&B singers doing shitty shit, and then the metal band is like saving the day.
Actually, one of his, I forgot which one it was. I took a quick gander at like how R. Kelly sounds now, and I think maybe like a 30-second look into some of his newer songs, and wow, all he does is talk about like, oh, these false allegations against me. I'm like, false? You're on video filming it. You can see all these rumors about me.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like some people just go away. Stuff like this happens. Some people just leave. And he just kept on and kept on, and it just continued to fester and fester. He basically screwed himself this way.
Yeah, and I think my like hang up is like sexual shit, because like there was a band called Champion that I was really into, and they broke up. Been broke up for a while now, but it came out that the singer was like a really shitty dude, and he wasn't like, well, I guess technically pedophilia, but like he would like try to like screw these like 15-year-old girls and stuff, and they were like, but the thing is about Champion is they were this like positive band about like none of them did drugs, and they were all about positivity. And then the singer was a complete shitbag.
Yeah, but you know what happens.
But yeah, they had broken up for a while, and apparently, people have known about him being a shitbag for a while, but they're from like Portland. So if I was from the area, I might have been like, yeah, he's a piece of shit. But everybody knows that. But since I never saw them live because they never came around here, and if they did, I was like working or something. But which I still wish I went to one of their shows, because it would probably been a fun show, but I still can't bring myself to listen to them because it's sexual shit. But then I can listen to fucking Mayhem, even though I know that the bassist fucking killed the guitarist. But it's like,
so the previous band you mentioned from Portland, when was their heyday?
Like, late 90s, early 2000s.
Yes, and that's the thing, like, there were things that were acceptable back then that are looked upon now as like, that's freaking horrible.
Yeah.
And like I was telling you the other day, like there was this band that shall remain nameless. They would have these shows locally. They were a local band, and they would go on stage and like, somebody would pull a girl on stage, and they would actually rip her clothes off and throw her into the crowd.
Right.
And people look back at that as like, yo, those were great times. And they're like, no, that's horrible.
Yeah.
How could you look back at that and think that was an awesome thing?
Yeah, because when I look back about like stuff like, because I heard about stuff like people were always like, a dude might have like been talking to like a 16-year-old girl or something, But when you're older, you see, yeah, that's really shitty, because you're like, hey, kind of like, because I've heard people say, if it bleeds, she breeds or something, but that's like, because even though I never did anything really shitty, but I still thought it was weird that, like, if a 19-year-old, does anything with a like a 15 or 16-year-old, that's the same offense as like a 40-year-old doing something with a 5-year-old, But right. I don't know. It's. I mean, that is weird, but it's still shitty. Like, they're not mature enough.
And it's worse here, because here the 17 is considered an adult.
Yeah. Well, here 16 is the age of consent. So if they, or if you're in a consenting relationship, you can totally do something.
But you're not considered an adult at 16, though, are you? Like, if you ran away from home, would the cops go looking for you because they consider you would the cops not look for you because you're considered an adult?
Right.
That's what I'm asking you. Like, over there, is 16 like when you're an adult already there?
Well, I think at 16, if you're in a consenting relationship, and I think it has to be like within 4 years of age or whatnot. So it's like a 20-year-old and a 16-year-old, right? So is that 4? That's 4. Then the girl has to consent and the parents have to be cool with you. You know what I mean? So like everything. But if it's a 14-year-old, the parents, she can consent, the parents can be cool with it, and you would still get in trouble because that's not the age of consent. So that's kind of what the age of consent means.
Yeah, but here, because 17, you're considered an adult. It doesn't matter how separate you are from the ages. She's an adult at 17 here. And it's still frowned upon. If you do that, you're still looked at as a dirtbag.
Right.
But legally, it's nothing. No one can do anything about it. But they still look upon you as you're some kind of predator.
Yeah.
Because it's highly doubtful you met her on her 17th birthday.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
I'll go ahead.
But yeah, it's definitely murky waters. Like, to me, like, when people are like, "Oh, well, you can be accused of anything now," like, what about this and this and this? Like, how are you supposed to, like, go on dates? I was like, well, how about this? If you're talking to anybody, like, go on dates, do the old school shit, like, take them out. Like, if you go in a relationship, say we're not going to have sex unless we've been dating for 6 months to a year, like, then you're good. Like, like you don't, like, what is this whole thing? Like, and this is like conservative Christians that are like talking like this, and it's like, I thought your whole thing was like, don't have sex until marriage, and now your whole thing is like, well, how am I going to fuck everything that moves? I'm like, what?
Right? How am I going to be a dirtbag now if I can go to jail?
Yeah, I have only had sex with one person, so y'all can just take all that shit. Like,
I guess. Oh, go ahead.
But that is weird. I mean, because the whole thing is weird with, like, if that's been for a while. Like, if a girl can say, "Oh, I've had sex with 25 guys," then she's a whore. If the guy has sex with 25 girls, then it's a high five. So
I'd be like, dude, don't use some hand sanitizer if you're gonna shake my hand. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I guess we can move on to consumption now if you're ready.
Yeah, we can get off of the premarital sex talk.
Yeah.
Consumption.
So do you want to go what you've been watching or what you've been playing first?
Well, lately we've been trying to get in this kind of like just kind of like conversational, to where if we talk about stuff, we talk about stuff, but we're not gonna like just like lost my train of thought.
All right. Well, Chase, have you been watching anything lately? Anything interesting?
Yeah, I just thought the Michael Jackson thing is pretty much it.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah,
but yeah, like I mean, I watched some, like we watched Honey, I Shrunk the Kids with the kids, and but nothing like that we haven't seen before, just like notable to talk about. But yeah, what else?
No more Darling in the Franks.
No, I watched like 2 episodes of that, and I wanted to try to like get through all the weirdness, because it seemed like there was probably a good story under all that weirdness.
I was trying to describe it to my coworkers who are into anime, and they're like, "What?" Because I couldn't remember the name of it. I just described it the way you said, and they're like, "What? Huh?" So I just I gave up. I was like, I don't know, dude.
Were they like casually into anime, or are they pretty into anime?
They're kind of they're kind of into it. Yeah, they're into it. I don't know the level they're into it, but I know that they do consume a bit of it.
Because I mean, if you pretty much described that show the way I said it, you know, if they had known about it, they would be like, "Oh yeah, that's totally in the fronts." But it because it was pretty like in front of everything for a while. For when it came out, it was like kind of like all over the anime Facebook shit,
Right.
Like, what is it? Mal or whatever, My Anime List, I think it's called. It's like IMDb for anime.
For anime, yeah. So let me see. What have I been watching? Oh, okay. So after I've been watching The Conners. Have you seen this?
Is that the one where like
the Roseanne reboot without Roseanne?
No, I haven't seen that. No.
So when Roseanne came back, I watched the first episode, and I was really uncomfortable with all the MAGA shit.
Right.
And I was like, this is not cool at all. And then somebody said, oh, well, they toned it down in the second episode. They might have toned it down, but it was still there.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, well, yeah, I'm not watching this anymore. And then I just kept hearing about all the little subtle MAGA stuff that's in that show. And then
the sad thing about MAGA is that in like 5 to 10 years, MAGA hats will be like ironically cool. Kind of like Dare shirts and stuff.
No, they kind of already are, but except that they'll put something else, like make like Chipotle great again or something.
Yeah.
Which I think is really stupid. Like, don't do that. That's really dumb.
I was gonna make
because you're making fun of someone else's struggle in a way, kind of.
Yeah.
But so then Roseanne did her thing, and they kicked her off the show, and they rebooted it. And then I was like, okay, well, the toxicity isn't there anymore. So let me check it out. And yeah, there was no more MAGA stuff. And so John Goodman lost a lot of weight, I guess, in between filming. And he looks so weird. He looks like 10 times older than he actually is.
Yeah.
Because he has all that extra flabby skin, that's just like all that loose skin.
Right, yeah.
And it looks so disturbing. Like, dude, you look like an 80-year-old man.
Well, maybe I don't know much about like when you are really big and then you lose a lot of weight, but like does it like after a while does your skin start to reform?
No, I think it's like that. I think it stays that way. But I think that only happens when you lose a ton of weight really, really fast.
Right. Because if you lose it over time,
if you gradually shrink down, then I think it kind of settles.
Yeah.
But it's just so weird because he looks like a turkey with a turkey neck and everything. I don't know.
Do you know who Penn Jillette is?
Yeah, the the Penn and Teller guy.
Yeah, he lost a lot of weight too, and he
Does
looks.
he look all weird?
Yeah, I don't know if it's because you're like used to seeing him big, or if
a lot of times that could be it, because there's people that I know that like I would see them as like bigger people, but then like they went and ran like 1,000,000 marathons and then came back and they're just super skinny.
Yeah,
and it doesn't look right. I'm like, dude, that looks weird. I don't know, but anyway, so yeah, I watched the show. They were like, the entire first episode was them about grieving over Roseanne dying because they actually killed her in the show. And then, yeah, apparently she died of an overdose. And it wasn't Ambien. That would have been funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just kind of none of these actors aged well. I don't know. None of these people aged well at all.
Well, the dude, I mean, we've seen him before because he was like on. Well, is the kid from like the boyfriend character? Is he in the show?
Oh, from the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah,
I haven't even seen him on the show yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, what's her name? The girl I don't even know if they got married or not, but she was on the Big Bang Theory as well, like in the first 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's made like 2 or 3. She's reappeared like 2 or 3 times, like in the last year. But yeah, she was on that show for a while, so I don't know.
Because they kind of, to me, look about the same. They just, just like older versions of themselves. But everyone else does look a lot different.
I think I want to say maybe because they all stopped acting, and then they're just like, whatever, let me just live my life.
Yeah, that can be a thing.
Well, even like the aunt Jackie character, she plays Sheldon's mother on The Big Bang Theory.
Right.
So she's working regularly. I don't know why she looks like she needs some moisturizer or something or some lotion. I don't know. They all look bad.
Do they just look bad on that show to you, or
I don't know? Maybe that's it. Maybe because they're supposed to be like poor white trash. Maybe they're supposed to look like that. I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to pass judgment. I'm just like, maybe that's how they intended to show them. People with bad skin.
Maybe since they killed off Roseanne, they don't want it to be seem like she's the only one that can die, and at the very end, they're all gonna die. It's just gonna be like everyone died. The end.
Yeah. Well, see, like since they stopped believing in MAGA, the terrorists took over and poisoned them all.
And now,
I don't know. What?
They'd be like, and now,
Right.
you should have like believed the MAGA supporters because see,
Because now look, you're all dead.
see, Islam is terrible. It kills people.
It poisons them and leaves them with bad skin. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's a gradual poisoning, and all their skin's falling off. That's how they're gonna get you with through your pores.
Yeah, biological warfare.
So I watched I watched that first episode, and yeah, there's no more MAGA. It's all gone.
Mm-hmm.
What else did I watch? So there's a Showtime show called Black Monday, which is about like Don Cheadle on Wall Street in the 80s, and Regina Hall. And did you ever see the Book of Mormon, the play, or at any point the DVD or something?
The Book of Mormon.
Yeah, it's a play. It's a Broadway show. One of the guys from that Broadway show is on this TV show.
Huh.
And there's a guy from SNL on there. And I don't recognize anyone else on this show. Oh, Kadeem Hardison, the guy from A Different World, he's on it. That's Regina Hall's husband. And did you see Coming to America?
Yes.
Okay, his concubine or whatever, the one who he makes bark like a dog. Do you remember this?
I think so.
And he's like bark like a dog, and she's like arf arf. Hop on one foot. Okay, she's on this show. Let's see, Who else is on the show that I recognize? Tuvok from Star Trek Voyager. He's also on the show. But yeah, it's this show that takes place in the 80s. My biggest complaint, and it's still my biggest complaint, is that it's supposed to be set in 1985, but you have stuff popping up on there from 1991 and 1981. It's just basically like they said, this show takes place in the 80s. Let's just throw a bunch of 80s crap in there.
You had that same thing with another show, didn't you?
No, it was that show.
Oh, it was that show?
It was this same show. Like, I just went back and started watching it again.
Oh, okay.
I almost turned it off when they made a reference to the whole tear down this wall thing. They made a tear down this wall reference. And looking at the timeline of the show, that hadn't actually happened yet.
What if they turn out to where they're like time travelers?
They're that would be acceptable. I would be completely fine with that. So, like, the premise of the show is that when you first see in the pilot, a body goes flying out of a window, and it lands on a car. You don't actually see who it is, but you see like this an emerald brooch, or an emerald earring or something that's attached to the person's tie. So in the first episode, this guy's girlfriend pins the emerald earring on the guy's tie. So you're thinking right off the bat, okay, he's the guy. He's the one who's going to die. But as the show progresses, that earring gets passed along to different people. So at this point, it could be anybody who takes the big dive at the end. Oh, because when that happens, it happens like in the future, and then they go back to the. It starts out when it's like a certain date, and then it goes back like 2 years or whatever.
Oh,
the show
okay.
takes place 2 years before that happens. Sorry, I should have led with that.
No, you're fine.
But yeah, so you don't know who's gonna take the big plunge because they keep passing that emerald earring around. It's a pretty good show. I mean, it's funny, but yeah, just the 80s abuse just takes me out of it completely.
Yeah, that would me too. Because it's always one thing to where if you're living in the 80s, it's not just Stranger Things, you know what I mean? But there's another thing to where it has to kind of seem like the 80s. You gotta sell your time period a little bit.
Yeah, like there was one episode where like the song that was playing on the radio was a song that hadn't come out yet. I was like, wait, this song doesn't come out for 2 years. How the heck is it playing on the radio? He's like, oh, so and so has a #1 album. I checked. That person that didn't #1 album.
Did all the things that they've been making references to that's like 2 years in the future?
At one point, go ahead.
Did the year that all those things come out or happen, was that the year that the guy died? I wonder if they're actually being... No,
that's the thing. Okay, like, the guy makes a reference to Crystal Pepsi. I don't think Crystal Pepsi came out until, like, 91. He says that so-and-so has a #1 album. I checked. The guy's #1 album came out in 89. There's references to the Nintendo being, like, this hard-to-find thing. I don't think that happened until, like, 88. Like, I think it was a thing. I don't think it became super popular and scarce until, like, 87, 88. They start playing the song White Lines at one point, which came out in 81, which it is plausible for it to happen, but do you go back and listen to stuff that came out in 2010? No, you don't, right?
Well,
I mean, you could, but it's not popular.
Well, you're asking the wrong person about popular music.
I'm just thinking, like, do people normally go back and listen to songs that came out 10 years ago on the radio?
Maybe.
Okay, stop. You know what I mean? It's just not something that's very feasible. But yeah, there's just they really need to get some kind of someone in there who knows their 80s stuff. Like me, they should hire me.
Yeah,
I'll set them straight. Let me see. I think that's about it for what I was watching.
Cool, man. Yeah, as of playing stuff, I was been playing the Resident Evil 2 a little bit. That's been super cool because I liked Resident Evil, but I was more of a Silent Hill dude. So, Resident Evil was a little bit more action oriented, and I like the mystery of the Silent Hill games. But in the remake,
track as well.
Yeah, and the reboot stuff of Resident Evil has been to where that what I liked about Silent Hill was also a little bit in Resident Evil 2 as well, because like the weird convoluted puzzles that, like, why is there a weird puzzle with a dragon in the middle of a police station, but you just went with it because it's the game, and I really like how they are doing those things in the remakes, even though that they're a lot more modern. But you can get past a lot of the stuff because those older games didn't have the best controls. Because I remember like thinking that I was bad at video games because I couldn't control the guy right.
But that was like the first time I played Resident Evil. I was like, where am I going? What am I doing? What's happening here?
Yeah, and well, it was a little bit better in Silent Hill because it wasn't completely action all the time, so when you're like not really seeing where you're going, it's not really that big of a deal because there's just like some walking little weird thing coming towards you, like it's not zombies trying to eat your face and I'm trying to shoot them.
Right.
But so what's crazy is that Resident Evil 2 Remake is a remake of Resident Evil 2, but it's also a sequel to Resident Evil 7, technically. So Resident Evil 7 is technically a remake of Resident Evil 1. So yeah. But
now my brain hurts.
Yeah. But I really dug that, and I got that for free with my graphics card. And I also got the Division 2 for free with my graphics card. So, and someone was like, why didn't you go with Devil May Cry 5? I was like, well, I really wanted Resident Evil. And I wanted and if I'm getting Resident Evil, I don't want to get 2 single player games. So I would want as well something to play with friends and stuff. And I've been really enjoying that Division 2. Like, I enjoyed the first one, but how they scaled like you and your friends and stuff really made it hard to team up, to where if I was level 1 and you were level 10, if you join my game, everything's a level 10, or if I join your game, everything's of course level 10. So it's always going to scale to the highest player. So it made it really hard for people to just like me to say, hey, you need to check out this game and come play with us. We couldn't play together really until you're like our level. But in this one, it's scaled it a lot better to where, well, so I've heard, because I haven't actually played with anybody yet, but that was a big thing with me, because when I played Division 1 with Scar on the PC, and we were both the same level, it was really fun, more fun than I've ever had in Division, because we were like, got the mechanics down and we were working together and pretty much playing the game the way it was meant to be played, and it was great. And another thing is that the Division is a RPG game, but it's set in reality. RPG mechanics lend themselves better to things not in set in reality, because you got things that have like big health bars and you have to level up to get to kill this other enemy. But in Division, they're guys in hoodies, so that's a level 10 guy in a hoodie. He's level 10, he's still got a hoodie on, but he's still hard to kill because video game. But in this one, that's still there, but they made it more believable. The guys that are harder to kill have like armor, and you have to chip away at the armor to actually shoot the meat underneath. So, and you also have armor instead of like you're getting a health pack, you're getting an armor pack. So if your armor goes down, you still have your health underneath. And so all those little mechanics have been really good for the game, I think.
Yeah, and Wolfenstein does that as well.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I played.
To cut you off.
No, you're fine. Yeah. I played the first of the reboots of the Wolfenstein. I really liked it.
Yeah, that's what I was playing recently. Yeah, like you have a health bar, and you can course, eat medicine or whatever, and then recharge your health.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like throughout the world, you'll find like armor on, and then you could just pile that on, and that's cool.
Yeah, and that kind of reminds me a little bit of like the old Halos and stuff too, because you had like an armor bar and then a health bar underneath. So I think that's a really good mechanic that they should go back to, because it makes things a little bit more believable on why you're taking so many bullets and stuff. You know what I mean? So that little bit of believability does a lot for immersion.
Right.
But yeah,
sorry.
well the guns in Division 2 also have a lot more weight to them as well, so they feel really good to shoot. When the first one they were very kind of light, but that's probably all I needed to say on Division.
So Wolfenstein. So who did you choose to save, the old man or the young buck? When they put you down and like you have to make a choice of which one to save and one to sacrifice.
Was this early in the game?
It's in the first area. Yeah. You're in a lab and like you get caught in the lab, and then like the mad scientist doctor, he gives you a choice.
I can't remember.
I saved the young guy only because at one point at the beginning, this big huge dog is going to eat you, and then he actually saves you, and then he says, maybe hopefully one day you'll return the favor. So like me as a man, I'm like, dude, I can't just take a favor and not give one back. So of course I saved him.
Right.
But okay, two things that bug me about this game. One, it gives you the option to do stealthy stuff, but when you go into these big levels or big maps, you can't. Sometimes you can't do stealth. Sometimes the stealth option is kind of stupid because you kill one guy and you alert like 10 other guys.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how you play it, no matter how sneakily and stealthily you do assert, you kill one dude, it's gonna raise the alarm no matter what. So you might as well go in there like just like waving your guns around, going, "Hello, boys."
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I mean that's probably more efficient than trying to sneak around.
Yeah, because when I think of, if someone says id, I'm not gonna think stealth. I would think
no, but like okay, well then it has the option though. That's the thing. Like it's in the gameplay. It's part of the mechanic, but there's just really nowhere to use it.
Right. Well, I mean, I think I did, like, if there's like one dude and I can just stealthily kill him, like, I'm not going to go out of my way to try to stealth the whole thing, but if I can take out a couple of them stealth, I will.
That's the thing. Like, if there's like 80 dudes on the map, I'm going to try to take out, or I'm exaggerating. If there's like 20 or 30 guys on the map, I want to take out as many as possible stealthily, so that when I actually do pop up, I don't have to kill that many, or they don't all because just come running after me.
Right. Because after a while, you're like, well, I'm getting tired of just stabbing guys in the back. This is an id game. I have all these cool guns. I want to use them. You know.
Right. And another thing that bothers me, in between missions, you're in the hideout, and then they send you on these stupid fetch quests. That's such a waste of time. I hate that. Stop doing that to me.
Yeah, I don't know why games still do fetch quests, because it's kind of like every developer should know everyone hates them.
It's like I just destroyed an entire Nazi prison camp. I just destroyed a whole Nazi outpost. And then I go back to the hideout and they're like, "Oh, hey, can you go get me like some mold off the wall?" I'm like, "No, I just saved all of your asses. Do it yourself." That's literally one of the things I asked for: mold on the wall. So yeah, that's my biggest gripe about that game. It gives you the option to do stealth in some places, but then like not really. And also fetch quests.
But it's not like Far Cry to where like stealth is a thing that you can, because it's open world. Like in Far Cry, you can go out guns blazing, but sometimes it's easier to try to survey your area, and because that's what.
Yeah, see, and that's what Wolfenstein doesn't let you do, and that's what I would like to do. But then again, it's Wolfenstein, and it's by id, and that's not what you do traditionally in this game.
Right.
Let's see, what else did I play? I also play Shadow of Mordor. I mean, I bought it a long time ago. I just never played it. Okay, same thing. It gives you the option to stealth, and you do the stealth. But then when you're just walking around the map, if any of the orcs see you, they're gunning after you. So you have to fight off 30 elves for every 12 steps you take on this map.
Yeah.
And that gets really annoying really quickly. To a point where I just said, screw this game, and turned it off.
Yeah, I never finished that one. And it played sort of like Batman to where... But in Batman, you could stealth, but if you got spotted or something, you just fight, and it was just like getting dudes and you fight.
And you could go from rooftop to rooftop and avoid all that. In this game, you're literally walking, and then they spot you, and then they raise the horn, and then 80 of them come out. And
then one of them will remember you, and then he's always coming after you.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. If one of them kills you, he levels up. He gets promoted to captain.
Right.
And then you have to do a revenge thing. It gives you the option to get revenge on the guy who killed you last, which is cool. It's a cool mechanic, but I don't want to fight guys every 12 feet.
Right.
But yeah, that's my complaint about that game.
Was this Shadow of Mordor or Shadow of War?
It was Shadow of Mordor. It was the first one.
Okay.
Shadow of Mordor, yeah.
Because I have Shadow of War as well, and I never took it out of the shrink wrap. Because it came with my Xbox, and I'm hardly ever on the Xbox, for one. And but I heard that some of those things kind of got perfected in that game, but because you can recruit orcs and stuff.
God. But looks like meat's back on the menu, boys. which is a line that always got me, because how the hell do they know what a menu is?
Right.
They even repeat it in The Hobbit. In the Hobbit movies, there's a part where that happens again. And then they're actually trolls.
Well, I'm sure there's bars and stuff that have menus.
No, yeah, that's the thing. At one point they go into a tavern, but I don't think an orc or a troll is going to go into a tavern.
Well, they might have orc taverns.
orc bars and orc taverns, right?
Yeah.
Go and pick you up a nice juicy hobbit and roast them. Yeah. No, apparently it's a Peter Jackson thing, I think. I think it's one of those things that he uses often. I don't know. Kind of like in Star Wars, how in every Star Wars movie you hear, I've got a bad feeling about this.
Right.
Apparently Peter Jackson's thing is, it looks like meat's back on the menu. I don't know. That's just what I've heard. I mean, I don't know how true that is. But,
it's so weird to me with people like Peter Jackson getting so household names as these big directors to where everyone knows them, when back in the day he was a B-movie director that
he was doing crappy horror movies, wasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they were crappy, but they were
crappy as in crappy quality, film quality and stuff.
Yeah, he was doing stuff kind of Sam Raimi is another one to where he was doing
he was doing Evil Dead.
Yeah, and then he went to doing Spider-Man and stuff. So yeah, because those type of dudes are kind of people that I would follow, that did weird freaking zombie movies and shit. So it's just kind of strange seeing them big Hollywood producers and stuff.
Right. Well, I mean, look at Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
But then again, he proved that he's not really he's not worthy of all that. I mean, and he's actually shown it over and over again by the quality of his later films.
Yeah.
It's just Cop Out. That was a tire fire if I ever seen one.
Yeah, I never watched that one. But
I watched 10 minutes of it. I literally 5 minutes and 28 seconds of that movie, and I was just I'm out. I don't need to see this.
Yeah, I like the early Kevin Smith movies.
Yeah, when he was working with a nothing budget and doing his own thing. But as soon as they started giving him big budgets and okay, make this big Hollywood blockbuster, he fell apart.
Yeah, I still like hearing him talk and stuff, because that's the thing. When you hear these dudes talk that are like this, they still sound like, you know, that they would be on our podcast just fucking talking about video games.
Just
but they got you know, some notoriety, and all of a sudden they were big in Hollywood, but they're still just dudes, dudes that just they would rather just be fucking playing video games and making zombie movies.
Yeah. Let me see, what was the last thing that I played? Oh, I actually picked up Spider-Man again because it was on sale. Now the PS4 version.
So you picked it up again?
Yeah, well, I had it originally, and I think I got frustrated with like the controls and stuff, because like the whole swinging thing, and I didn't realize that like later on you unlock like a better swinging mechanism. I didn't give it a chance, basically.
Oh, okay.
Because I guess I was like, because they give you like a starter level swinging mechanic, and later on you unlock a better one when you get like the suit with like, instead of like the black trim, you get a suit with the white trim. And it's really cool. It's the one that's on the cover,
right?
Yeah, you unlock that suit later on, and it and swinging around is a breeze. It's beautiful. It's wonderful.
Yeah. It seems like a lot of games to where if you stick with the story and try to like progress rather than just trying to do everything before you progress, that you'll have a harder time, because sometimes you need to progress a little bit so you can level up, and like they want you to progress the story some to level up, versus how you're used to playing things, which is, well, I'm going to need to grind this area before I go into story mode, because the story mode is going to be harder.
See, like games like Saints Row 2, they had a way to avoid that, because you couldn't just go into the game and just start doing missions.
Right.
You had to earn like points and stuff like that by doing. You had to grind.
Yeah.
You had to grind by doing side missions and side quests and like just general stuff, like earning points by like surfing on top of a car that's moving, or going down the freeway on the wrong side of the street. That earns you points, and then you get enough of these points. Okay, now that you've gained enough XP, you can do the mission now.
Yeah, because it would be like kind of a on this turf type.
Yeah, or else you just breeze right through it. But then you have to level up though.
Yeah.
So so Spider-Man I actually enjoyed, even though the combat is very Batmanish.
Which is not really a bad thing, because I like that combat.
Yeah, me too. I can button mash, which is because it has all these combos. You do this, and I'm like, okay, I study those and look at them. But when I'm in the middle of combat, I'm literally just button mashing because I forget all the combos.
Right. Yeah, I pretty much get down like your basic attacks in a dodge or something, and then if there's one thing that I know does like massive damage, I'll probably like try to do that if I can, but I'm not gonna like go crazy with it.
All right, so that's pretty much it. Is there anything else? Do you think we should start wrapping up soon?
Yeah, because it's been about an hour, man, and I can look through my
your notes.
Well, there's one thing. I have been trying to get through The Witcher 3, which has been really good. I really enjoyed The Witcher 2 a lot, and then when everyone was talking about Witcher 3, I was like, okay. Like, I was trying to tell you guys that Witcher 2 was great, and you guys didn't listen to me, and like, so what's so great about Witcher 3? You know, but I had got it on PlayStation like ages ago and didn't really play it, and then I got it on PC not too long ago for pretty cheap, but this time I got all the DLC and stuff too, and yeah, Witcher 3 is like 10 times better than Witcher 2, so they were right, but
you're just like, why is everyone talking about this other game? This game is great.
But yeah, there's another podcast called The Future Monkeys, and they're doing a thing right now called, like, it's about like doing your backlog or whatever. So I'm trying to get through some games to I think you win. Last time you won something on their backlog, like one of their games, and so
Yeah, my backlog is insane. Like, there's no way.
because
If I dedicated a week to gaming, I would not get through this backlog.
yeah, well, theirs lasts until May, I think. So, but the thing is, when I did the EDG's one, they were like, all his games are like these 40-hour games. So I was like, yeah, that's kind of like every game I ever buy. Like, I mean, so.
I went back and I went through an old save point on Skyrim,
Mm-hmm.
and the game is a lot more difficult when you're not an overpowered demigod.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I'm having trouble defeating this one enemy that I would have taken me like one hit to kill, like on like when I was like level 56 or 70 or whatever.
Right,
Like,
because that's another thing. You kind of forget that, like when you first play the game, that you did exactly what we were just talking about. Is you organically went through the story and doing things, but then when you know everything, you're trying to do all these things that you did before, but you kind of have to. You're gonna have to stick to this.
You go off into a zone that you know you have to be a certain level at, and you go off and try to do things, but your level 6 ass just gets destroyed.
Right. And plus, like, once you defeat, like, Alduin or whatever, you get, that thing that makes the dragons just, like, lay down on the ground.
Oh, the Dragon Ram.
Yeah,
the
so...
Where you can just shoot them out of the sky and they fall, and then you just attack them.
Yeah, that's...
Well, you get them before you defeat Alduin.
Oh, you do? But,
yeah, because, like, that's how you defeat him, because you shout him down from the sky.
Right, yeah. Well, that's a lot... That makes things a lot helpful, or that makes things a lot easier, because when you don't have that, it's like, this thing will not get down.
Well, I just use arrows. I don't care.
Yeah.
My archery is... Well, okay, my archery was at 100. Now I think my archery is like at a 2.
Right.
But yeah, like, my smithing is always at 100. My archery is always at 100. And everything else I just distribute evenly. But those two are like my main things, because you get like the boss armor when you're leveled up in smithing.
Nice.
Or you can make your own boss armor. I'm saying.
Yeah.
So unless you got anything else.
Yeah, I think that's it, man. You got any shouties?
Shout out to Lady Nikki out there doing her thing. You should follow her on Twitch. I'll have a link in my Twitter, which is SCLNGA. I'm on Twitter more now just because I tweet at work, even though I shouldn't. I should be working, but I'm more tweeting than working, but whatever.
I mean, the president tweets more than working, so you can be president.
Right. But yeah, I guess I can pin the poster. I can pin a link to her Twitch on my pin post thing or whatever, and yeah, you can follow her that way.
Cool. Yeah, send me the your Twitter thing, so I need to put you in the show notes now that you're tweeting more, and probably put you on the our little live, because it just has me and Scarfinger on the video.
Oh, if it wasn't that I was bored at work, you would not see me tweeting at all. Like I do not like. I really can't stand social media.
Yeah.
Not my thing.
Discord's cool though, because you're in a little bubble.
Yeah, Discord, you're just talking to your people.
Yeah.
There's another one called Mammoth. I don't know if you ever heard of that one. It's kind of like Twitter, but like not really.
It's called Mammoth. Okay.
Yeah. It's kind of it's different to use. I mean, it's kind of like you have to join someone's server. It's like Discord, but it's kind of like your tweets are called toots, so you're sending out toots. It's the same concept as Twitter, except it's on different servers. But when you're on someone's server, you can actually visit other servers and reply to other people's toots. I know I know. But it's fun though. I guess that's it. What about you? Any shoutouts?
No, man. We can just shout out the people, and Oh, actually, there is one more thing I've been playing. I was playing some Strange Brigade with AZ Rockslide, which is pretty fun. We just played through the first act, and I definitely want to play more of that because it's kind of like a, I wouldn't say horde mode, but like you're just shooting like mummies and stuff, and it's all like 1940s esque. Like there's an announcer and he'll like, or a narrator, and he'll like talking like our heroes are saved today.
Oh, okay. So like the black and white kind of like with like the big font and the on the screens and stuff like that.
Well,
like music like
well, the music's like that, but the graphics and stuff are modern day and
okay, because that would be excellent. Kind of like doing like a kind of like a Flash Gordon type thing, but like as a game. That would be cool.
Yeah,
like the narrator and everything.
Yeah, that would be cool. Maybe there's some like filters or something that they can add to like. Well, if you beat the game, you can play it in, this Instagram filter.
Right.
But yeah, that was super fun. So shout out to AZ for going through that with me, and so yeah, how about we peace out them warriors, man?
Yeah, peace out to the warriors.
Later.